On this episode of Camping Cribs, we're meeting up with Lorri to take a look at her sweet little vintage named Katie Bar the Door.
She has a really special RV here that I want her to tell us about. This is not, I've known you, you've had 2 trailers since I've known you.
Right.
So tell them a little bit about what you had before this and what drew you to this one. What's fun about it?
Well, this camper's been in my life since I was a very young person, in my late teens. And I fell in love with this, and I've always wanted a vintage because of this camper. But I encountered somebody at a campground in California who had one of the Shasta reissues. And I thought, after looking at several vintage campers and finding a lot of wood rot and all the scary things, I thought, well, this is a way to get something that's vintage but has all the amenities, and I'm not going to deal with something that's been sitting in a field for 20 years.
Right.
I got that Shasta reissue. I camped the heck out of it. I love that camper.
You took that thing everywhere.
Everywhere.
I saw you
Yeah.
everywhere.
And so
it was cool looking.
And it was really a pleasure to tow, because people just would be, they always think it's an amazing restoration. But then you tell them, and it never deflates them. They're like, oh, but we had one of these when we were kids. And so they have those nostalgic memories of it.
I love it.
So
I love that. And then, so this one's been in your life, you said. Tell them the connection.
So I met a girl named Karen when I was in my late teens. I was painting some signage for her dad's exotic bird shop. And she had just come to Las Vegas to spend some time with her dad. And we became fast friends. And then my brother started working on it's a weird shop. He sold macaws and recycled batteries. And so my brother was an electrician, and he went and helped hook up all the electric in the second shop where he reconditioned golf carts and batteries.
Funny.
And so it was pretty clear he took a spark to this Karen. And the first week they were there, she said, I don't know, your brother's weird. He picked me up the other day and threw me in the trash pile out back. And I said, he must really like you to take that much time. And so that became, the beginning of a friendship that later became, she became his wife. They had 3 kids, and we would go camp. She and the boys and Max camped every single summer in Oceanside, California. And this was Karen's mother's camper.
Gotcha.
And she bought it new in 1969.
Oh my goodness.
And so Katie is for Kathy.
That's her mom.
We love to name our campers after grandmas. This is my nephew's grandma. Katie loved this camper. When you see the inside, she oiled this wood every year. Her husband didn't do this. She did this. She towed it to Yellowstone.
God, that was so ahead of her time.
So this camper was originally outfitted to be a camper in Yellowstone in early spring. So it's got carpet in it for insulation.
Nice.
And so they ordered it. So they custom ordered it from Ken Craft to get it fully outfitted, and Kathy was the person who drove it, who towed it, who fixed it, who maintained there's a manual inside here, a book of manuals of all the records that she kept on it.
So special. How did you decide the name?
I wanted to honor Kathy. Kathy has dementia, and she really ceased to be able to camp about 2 or 3 years ago, and they would still take the camper to the beach and bring Kathy down for a day, and she would spend time with it. But it got to be where it's just was too emotional or too difficult. And so her daughters, my sisters-in-law, were thinking of taking it on. And then the one who she has 3 kids, she was worried about having kids in a camper. She had this idea that it's very delicate, even though they all grew up in it, but they really wanted something modern. About 2 years, she approached me and said, you have all these friends with vintage campers. Do you think you could help me find a buyer? And I said, well, silly girl, I should be the buyer because I have loved this camper from the first moment I saw it.
Oh my gosh.
So
what kind is it?
It is a 1969 Ken Craft 230.
Wow.
So it's 230, I guess they're just fudging the length because it's really 24 feet long.
It is. Okay, and when we go inside and look around, I want you to tell us what modifications you've done and what you think you're going to add. For example, did it come with the water heater?
It still has the original water heater. It's the one thing I haven't addressed yet because it's only propane. You have to light the pilot light by hand, and it no longer will stay lit. And so right now I can shower at a campground, but eventually I want to be able to use everything in the camper. So I would like to get a water heater and
I love it.
be able
Did
to have
you
it.
paint it yourself? well.
I painted it and designed the graphics. The original color, I stripped one side, and the original color was a brown and orange stripe. When I got the camper, it was sort of a celery green. So it's been painted over the years.
Has it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I picked the turquoise, and there's a lot of avocado inside. So, you know, 1969. So I wanted to sort of tie what I can to the inside and outside together.
I love it. Okay, well, let's take a tour.
All right, come
All right.
on in. So you could see all the original wood in here has been very much loved and cared for. And apart from the upholstery on the click-clacks, which these front benches are, everything of the surfaces in here is original. The wood, the backsplash, the countertops, the formica in the bathroom, the drapes, they're all original. These click-clacks, I don't know if you've ever dealt with click-clacks, but click-clacks are separate pieces of furniture. So these can be moved. They're on wheels, and you can rotate them around, and they're a futon. So I could push them together and make a bed, or I can rotate them 90 degrees and make a couch that goes across the front. So it's really a really convertible type space in here. It's got a leaf in the table, so you can have a short table or a long table. And it has these original blackout drapes from 1969.
It's so fun. It's really wide.
It is. It's really roomier in here. And I have the leaf in now. Without the leaf in, I've had rainy weather events where we've had people with 2 or 3 lawn chairs in here. Anyway, these are super comfortable, real furniture. And these were standard in the 60s click-clacks. And there's storage under them, so you can put things away inside there.
And then blackout curtains.
Yeah, the original blackouts. Also up in the cabinets, I have the original Scrabble board and a bunch of Kathy's puzzles. The side lights were converted from propane. The center one is just disconnected. So in the kitchen, you can also tell that Kathy was very, very tidy. She baked in here. I remember eating lasagna she made in this oven. You have to light it with a match because it's old school. And of course, the popcorn maker. They left me some of her treasures. And the stove is underneath here. The original backsplash.
The microwave did not come with
The
it.
microwave did not come with it, but I had to get something that would look okay in here. And of course, all these avocado appliances. I think probably about 25 years ago, they added rooftop air. It came originally with a swamp cooler over that vent. And so we've removed that, but I've recently replaced this. And then the original fridge was, it just wore out. So they replaced it with this Norcold, which works well with propane or electric.
Got it.
And it's got a great freezer in it too. And then of course, this is that classic vintage floor plan of twin beds. You can actually slide the mattresses together, but then you can't go to the bathroom. Convertible in a sense. There originally were some blackout drapes here between, but I'd want to add a little bit of me to it. It's got such great storage, this coat closet, all these drawers under here like dressers. And this bottom drawers are not dressers. This is the freshwater tank and pump. So you can still boondock. And then this side, it's just all dressers, overhead storage, and the original TV rack.
What about the bedspreads?
The bedspreads were not original to it, but a friend of mine gifted me these when she changed her camper from twins to a full. So
I had that in white on my bed when I was a kid. For sure.
I remember these at Grandma's house, these kind of things, so I loved it. And this is a picture of my grandma. So you always have to have my original Minnie Ha. There's Minnie.
That was the name of
my first camper.
Shasta.
Yeah, because you got to name it after Grandma. And then the bathroom is really pretty amazing. It's a full bath with a stand-up shower with lots and lots of room. And it's got a full closet. So underneath the closet is the water heater. And it's got ventilation over the shower and over the bathroom as well. 1969, there were no gray tanks. I did have a fun experience the first time I noticed water coming up in my shower thinking, oh, my gray tank's full. And I opened that and I got a shower of toothpaste and dish soap.
Oh my gosh.
So thankfully not black.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
oh my gosh.
But yeah, I was like, what was that? So I called actually a friend who has a Kincraft and she's like, oh, Lorri, you have to just put a valve on it and leave it open so that your water drains out because your only gray tank is the pipe.
Gotcha.
Because
okay.
In 1969, it was permissible to just dump gray on the ground.
Yeah. I get it.
They've done some upgrades before I got it to really make sure there are outlets for charging. My brother's an electrician, so he helped with that.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, Lorri, this is fantastic. Thank you for the tour.
You're very welcome.
All right, we'll see you again on the road.
Awesome.